This is the story of a young girl named Alice who lived in a pretty neighborhood near a big park. Alice had an older sister, and they would often go to the park to spend the day together.
For a minute there, I thought I would fall asleep. Do you ever get tired of reading books that don't have any pictures?
Oh, not at all. I get to use my imagination.
I think I would fall asleep not having pictures in my book.
You can fall asleep doing anything, Alice. I think you enjoy dreaming.
I think you're right. I can't seem to wake up today, though. I need to go for a walk or something. Huh? What a funny bunny.
I'm late. I am really late. I'm late.
I wonder where he's going. Where did he go? I don't see him anymore.
I'm on the open road to the Cortex Beach. It looks simple to everybody else. A straight path, a clear direction. A line knows where it's going. My processing field. Within my mind, the only straight lines will not always move in straight lines. Sometimes words don't land where they're supposed to, often find them clawing away. Sometimes they shift, sometimes they scatter, sometimes I must find them in unusual ways, and sometimes I never find them again. And that is something I have learned. I keep walking away, I keep trying, I keep believing, step by step. Not because everything feels clear, but because I have learned that clarity is not the only way forward. The road stays steady for most. Only the difference between me and you, I work other ways around. I think things before you even told me them. I have started to understand something important. Just because something is difficult to read doesn't mean it's not worth understanding. As I get closer to the electric sea, the world begins to metaphor itself into a new beginning. A bigger and better world begins to emerge from the darkness, the bright future of the grain. Not in a way that feels like the end, but in a way that feels released, a new way of electric waves. The pressure to be exact starts to soften. The wind moves through everything like it belongs there, becoming music to my soul. Even the ground feels like rigid, less final, and I realise something is not always have the words for. I do not experience the world incorrectly, I experience it differently. The beach is not simply a destination, it is a threshold. It is a place where things stop needing to be perfect to be real, where movement matters more than order, where meaning can exist even if it does not stay still. I used to think I still falling behind something. Now I understand I'm just taking a different path through it. The world's best route does not define how I think. It carries my weight forward. It's not just a sea, but a mystery of endless possibilities. A space where things can shift and grow and still make sense, a neutral drift. Where memory tide is not something to fix, but a signal noise. I keep walking, step by step. Not to escape how I think, but to arrive somewhere that accepts a sequence breaker. The road remains unchanged as I walk it, but my belief does not.
Cars. To some, they're just transport. A convenient alternative to highly flammable dirigibles or walking. But you understand, cars are far more than this. They are our history. They mark the moments by which we define decades. Cars are some of the most intoxicating, most beautiful things ever forged by mankind. They represent the glory of technology, the essence of freedom, and have been the weapons in some of our most gripping sporting battles. They grip us, they cheer us on, they hold us up as heroes. So this is about the love of all things four-wheeled and fast. This is a shrine to power, to speed, to metal made beautiful. This is where dreams are driven. Welcome to Forza.
the focus. Yes, the concentration was pleasing. And I needed a walk. 2 birds with 1 stone. Ha! Literally, eh? I need to go straight in. Let's have it. Straight in. You in there? Are you?
priest's house.
Is it Father Gorman you're looking for?
Yeah, he's wanted.
Who wants him? What for?
Well, there's a woman...
Bella is disconcerting, isn't she, Mr. Easterbrook? I noticed the way she looked at you.
Yes, she's certainly disconcerting. I heard she got rid of both her husbands by turning the evil eye on them. He slowly sickened and pined away.
I'm sure you've heard, Mrs. Oliver, that we all practice witchcraft. We've got quite a reputation, you know.
Not undeserved, perhaps. Oh, do, please, help yourselves to tea. Perhaps you could pour ginger.
I'd love to. Tea, Mrs. Oliver?
Thank you.
I was always attracted by the occult. Even as a child, I realized that I had occult powers. I fainted once when I was taken to tea in a friend's house. Oh, thank you, dear. I knew that something awful had happened. And then we got the explanation there had been a murder there, in that very room.
Shell. Oh, that's pretty good there.
Donald! Take a look out! Stop! This is called Truck with Power!
Welcome to Hope Street, Stoke-on-Trent. Looking at it now, It's hard to believe, in the late 70s and early 80s, this unassuming part of Hanley Town was the epicentre of the Stoke-on-Trent punk rock scene. One of the earliest punk locations was John's Calf, locally known as the Punk Calf. A sausage sandwich was affectionately referred to as a dog's dick sandwich. Hope Street was home to the clothing store Fans, more of a pilgrimage than a shopping spree. Punks would make their way to Fans to buy their Vivienne Westwood knockoffs, some Vivienne Westwood originals, band t-shirts, and generally to hang out.
Yeah, I was always in Hope Street. I think there was a shop called Phase, and there was Clay Records, obviously in Hope Street. Mike Stone's record shop, yeah, which was also the record label.
Also situated in the street was Mike Stone's Records. Mike was the owner of Clay Records, which became home to many local punk bands. Clay was the local label. Bands including the Plastic Idols, Product, and most well-known enduring Clay artists, Discharge, all found their home with Clay Records. This is Fountain Square. Fountain Square was an important gathering place for the punks, especially in the 1980s. Before that, other youth subcultures had gathered in Fountain Square, notably the Soul Boys. But during the 80s, it was claimed by the second wave of punk fans. Hundreds of people would gather in Fountain Square, sporting their extreme hairstyles and punk clothing. But not just punks, there was also new wave fans, what were to become goths, and they would all circulate information, drink, get high, meet their friends, meet their girlfriends. Many a relationship started in Fountain Square. There was no internet, so information was passed via fanzines and word of mouth, and this was the place where it would happen. To look at Fountain Square now, you would never believe that it was anything significant to anyone. The fountain has been removed a long time ago, along with the seating that people used to use when they met in the square. Hanley's main venue is the Victoria Hall. Most of the current acts scheduled to play are tribute bands. It was a very different story back in the late 70s through the 80s. Many big names played the Victoria Hall, to include Queen, The Police, Slade, and other top charting bands of the time. On the more punk side of things, the hall hosted The Jam, The Damned, The Stranglers and The Clash, all of whom had charted in the UK and received massive amounts of media exposure. Adjacent to the Vicky Hall was situated a legendary building in local punk history for Stoke-on-Trent, the Vine Public House. The Vine hosted live music, mainly punk and early electronic and new wave bands. It eventually closed down. It was demolished and replaced by Vine Street car park, which in itself was absorbed into the site of the new bus station and the Crown Court. I did ask to film the Crown Court for perspective of where the Vine stood, but I was refused permission and told that if I did, I'd be jailed for 28 days. Sadly, the Vine is not the only lost venue in Stoke-on-Trent that catered for the alternative and punk scenes. El Cid's was an early nightclub that was one of the first venues to play punk music and get a regular punk gathering, a regular punk clientele. After El Cid's came Chico's. Chico's was a popular club amongst the alternative crowd in Stoke. It was very well known for playing goth music, but punks also attended. Sadly, Chico's closed down and the venue was burned down. What remains now is this site with this fence. You'd never know that Chico's was ever here. The Freetown was another club. The Freetown hosted live music, including punk bands, ska bands, was the home of quite a few rave parties. When it closed down, it became the Club, a local gay club. The club hosted goth nights, which some punks still attended. Sadly, this club has been closed a long time too. What you're seeing in front of you now is what's left of the club. A derelict, abandoned building, long forgotten, with no apparent plans to resurrect it. Discharge began as a band very much in the style of the Sex Pistols, but with the addition of Cal Morris, the music changed to a heavier sound. Cal introduced lyrics exploring the themes of anti-religion, anti-war, a system that didn't work, driven by conservative capitalism.
We see ourselves as a band making a stand against what we feel is wrong with society today. It's just what we do in the lyrics, or what I write in the lyrics, I see is just enlightening people as to what could really happen concerning the threat of nuclear war.
Under the management of Tanya Rich, Discharge went from playing small pubs and venues like the Rose and Crown in Etruria, Stoke-on-Trent, to touring the country, eventually performing their biggest capacity gig at the Victoria Hall. Discharge eventually broke with Tanya as their manager. He continued on a course that would eventually see them split and inactive for many years. It seemed in Stoke like an era of punk had ended. However, today Discharge are touring again with a new vocalist, JJ. With him are founding members Rainey, Tez, Bones and a new drummer. The Underground Club is putting Discharge on at this event with other bands in the punk genre. The 13th Turn and Extinction of Mankind are both punk bands but with very different sounds. I followed Discharge to Birmingham at the Falkland Castle.
Is that all you fucking got, Brum?
Finally caught up with Tez and JJ in Bristol. It's been quite a journey for Stoke Punk, but against all the odds, Punk survives, and so do Discharge.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to my show, Western Waves. Welcome to everybody here. Give yourselves a big round of applause, please. Absolutely delighted to meet you. We're joined today by a group of UCW students, I believe. UCW, a university, is that right?
Yeah.
Marvellous. And you're all preparing for a new film, an up-and-coming trip quite soon in Lille, in France, I believe. In France? Why?
Well, yeah, it had to be France. No other place, really. And, of course, you mentioned France, and people go on about Paris. Well, Paris is touristy and shite. And do you know what isn't touristy and shite? Lille.
But what's the actual plan for the film itself? Anyone at all?
We don't really have an idea yet.
No, everyone's been coming up with different ideas, and our attempts to narrow it down have been unsuccessful.
Futile.
You could say.
Yeah. I've got an idea. Why don't we try something whilst you're all sitting here? I'm good. You pitch me your idea, and I'll help you choose. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? Yes.
That's a brilliant idea.
Well, I suppose I could start. I'm thinking of a classic murder mystery. We have a corpse of a man who's mysteriously died. We have an extravagant detective who is working on the case to figure out who has murdered this person. We have a host of likely suspects who get suspicious each time. And, well, this is very Agatha Christie, and I think that if we rack up the suspense each time, the audience are on their toes.
Chris, what about you?
Well, you know, I love a good murder, especially love a good corpse. But a real murderer was Louis the Sun King. He murdered thousands of people under the Witchcraft Act. Some of them in Lille, and there's actually witches in Lille. So I thought they were worth a look at as well. This is going to be a documentary type format. Simon Blockell was an occultist and a printer who printed a load of occult manuals telling you how to practice black magic, and showed you how to sacrifice a goat in one of them. There's goths in Lille. They go to see bands, Sinister Rose and Cantalou, two of the bands. La Brat Cave is where they go to see these bands, and they also go and to hang out in the graveyards and stuff, and torturing witches, I mean,
Yes.
would have loved to have seen that.
But torturing witches and
Yes.
death and
Yeah.
sacrificing goats.
Oh,
and-
yeah, especially the goat. You can eat it afterwards.
Do we have anything lighter?
So I'm thinking we do kind of like a spy thriller kind of thing, like an action film, where we have this secret agent guy. He's got to go undercover. He's got to get this briefcase back from this group of bad guys because it's got like a bomb or a ton of money or drugs or whatever in it. And he's undercover, he's going past security, he's talking on his earpiece with like his handler, maybe doing like a will they, won't they kind of thing. And he's beating up bad guys, and eventually he gets the briefcase back, opens it, and finds out it's a decoy.
Henderson.
Yes, a bit red-eye.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, okay. Why is he wearing sunglasses and a baseball cap then?
Well, he's undercover, obviously.
But he is still in a suit.
Well, yeah, he's got standards.
Right. Let's take a look at something else.
Well, for my idea, it starts with one person sat on a bench in the UK. Dreary, grey, rainy, and very anticlimactic. And then they put their headphones on, they press play on a Sebastian Teller song. And suddenly we're in Lille. From there, that's when it becomes fully stylized. Nighttime, saturated greens and blues, and the city turns into a mise-en-scène rather than a setting. There's no story in the traditional sense. It's flimmer cinema, one body moving through space. It's more focused on cinematography than a story. I'll be taking inspiration from Fallen Angel in its colour language.
A little pretentious, I feel.
No, yeah.
Yes.
You're right. Sorry. It's quite pretentious.
Yes, you're welcome. Now, last but not least.
So my idea, basically, we heard everyone else's ideas, and they sound kind of boring and dull. And I know the truth about the pigeons.
Is that the truth?
The truth is that the pigeons are behind everything. Drug smuggling, the actual government in Lille, I believe, even Paris themselves, they control basically even Greg's the pastry company in the UK. They control the secret. Basically, they steal all the bakery items from Lille and they transport them to England.
But that's insane.
Yes, it's insane, but it's truth because I saw it happen and I've been there when it happened.
So what are we going to do?
Don't know. What should we do?
What do I think about? I think we're out of time. Thanks
What the
so
fuck do you mean out of
much,
time?
everyone.
Leave us hanging.
Thank you.
Fucking joke.
Join me on Western Waves next week, and we're going to be discussing the ethical sources of cats. Thank you so, and goodbye.
I said this was a bad idea.
Thank you so much. Well, thanks for coming in. They're gone.
They're too close to the truth. You know what you have to do.
Such a shame.